Hi everyone, welcome back to the Web Dimensions Software Membership Training Webinar for Wednesday, August 14th, 2013. Hi Carl. Hi Grant. Hey Joy. Patrick, what's up? You guys, everybody can hear me okay, I'm assuming. So, I'm going to go ahead and okay, awesome, Douglas, thank you. I'm going to go ahead and just sort of finish up some training that I did last week, that I started last week, and then we're going to go ahead and just basically tackle questions from the audience. So get your questions ready, and we'll answer everything for you today. Now, as you recall last week, we went over the VVC syndicator, and there was a little problem, so that sort of resulted in me going back into the code and doing a whole bunch more work on this. And in fact, I just issued a new version, and I'm going to go ahead and give you guys the download link for that right in the chat box now. So you have the latest version of this plugin, and I've just sent the URL to everyone so you can get the latest version. As you can see, it's looking a little differently now. I've put it into a tab system. We've got the registration, the software sync that I went over. I kind of went over all this stuff last week. Yeah, it's good to get those latest versions, right, Douglas? So anyway, and we've got the accounts on this page and the video upload. Now I've put it directly into the plugin. So if you don't want to use VVC Pro, you can just go right on your blog and upload now. And I'm going to show you now the subtleties of uploading with what I call the basic spinning included. So as you can see here, I've got a video account for YouTube, for Vimeo, and Dailymotion. I've got them all programmed in here. And I showed you last week how to get those accounts. Excuse me. So you get those accounts and you plug them in here. And now we're going to do a video upload. So I've made a few just test videos. I'm going to go ahead and just choose one of those videos here, my test 4 video. Next thing I'll do is just select the category, whichever one you want. I'm going to say, for the heck of it, just video blog. Now here's where the kind of cool part comes in. And just make sure that you do update to 2.0.1, which I just sent you, to make sure you have all the functionality. Now what we can do is spinning, and to get actually 3 different unique posts with the same video. And I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with spinning at all, or spin tags, but I'm going to go ahead and show you what that is and how you can use it. A lot of people are already familiar with it, Douglas, so I'm just going to go, because I have kind of my own way of spinning, and if you use like the Best Spinner or something like that, they have protocols that you follow for their spinner. But I've just created what I call simple spinning, which means the first character is going to be the open curly brace, and the last character is going to be the closed curly brace, like this. Don't want to put any spaces or anything after that with my technique. Okay, it's just starts with this and finishes with this. Okay, so whatever goes in between here is what's going to be put for the field that you're addressing here. And so let's say we want to have 3 different values, so that we can split up our string and have, say, a different title for 3 different video posts. we're uploading the same video, but we're going to split our string into 3 titles. So we're going to send that one video to 3 accounts, but each account will have a different title on that post. So let's say we can say like my awesome video will be the first title. Then I'm going to put this pipe character, and that character is located usually on your keyboard. It's the key that's right above the enter button, and you'll have a backslash and the pipe key. So you have to press the shift key and the backslash key, and you'll get this pipe. So you want to put it like that, and then put your second title here, very cool video. Then separate with another pipe, and then go, your third title, you should check this out, or whatever you want to say. No more pipes, just pull that brace right back to the right-hand side, so your whole string, I'm going to reduce that size so it all fits on one line. You can see it very well. So you've got that whole string, and it starts with the open curly brace, ends with the curly brace with no extraneous characters, and 3 values separated by the pipe character. Okay. I can't copy and paste that because it's already rendered. So I'm just going to go in here to the plugin now and do that right here. I might as well just copy that over. My awesome video. A very cool video, pipe. You should check this out. And then close with the curly brace. Now we can do exactly the same thing on the description. Let's do that here, like it's an amazing video that you shouldn't miss. You can put URLs in it, put a backlink back to your website or whatever. I'm not going to mess around with that right now. I'm just going to create 3 short descriptions. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and copy this. I'm going to get rid of that part right here. Just going to copy that and put it in the description. So that's formatted correctly. And some tags here. The same thing, as you can see with the tags, you do it like this. You do tags separated by commas, and then a pipe character, tags separated by commas, pipe character, tags separated by commas, and close. So what we should end up with the tags A1, A2, A3 on one video, B1, B2, B3 on the other post, and C1, C2, C3 on the last upload. So I have that here. Now, all I have to do, I can select, if I don't want it to go to, say, Daily Motion, I can uncheck this. Well, I'm going to just send it to all of them right now. Okay, so everything's ready. Everything should work perfectly. Now we're just going to click Upload. Takes a second. This is not a very long video, so if you have I think the script is programmed to accept up to 100 megabytes, but that's huge. That would take a long time to upload. So my suggestion is you focus on short and sweet videos with your message, I mean, trying to upload a huge thing. It looks like I may have had the wrong password on YouTube. At least it told me there was a failed upload, but it did go to the other two. So if we go to Vimeo, here's a very cool vid, mix and match, or daily motion. You should check this out. Right, so it took my different titles and stuff, and perhaps it was a duplicate test that I already did. Maybe that's why it didn't work, but it definitely did work on the other ones. So I've been testing today for a while, so I probably uploaded a duplicate video. Anyway, that's how that works. Just see really quickly over here, and you can see it took the title. You should check this out. It got you. Please don't miss this very cool video, and the tags. Not seeing the tags. Not sure why. Let's go back to Vimeo. I probably misspelled that Vide. I probably forgot to put the O in when I typed it, but it did get the separate title, the separate description. The tag should have got my tags too. If it didn't, we'll find out why. But yeah, B1, B2, B3, the tags got in there as well. So that's how you use VVC Syndicator. And if you have any questions about that, please go ahead and put them in the chat box right now. Okay, I'm not seeing any questions coming in, so on that, it's pretty straightforward. Now, what I'd like to do now is open up the floor for questions from audience members on any aspect of the membership or any of the software or anything like that. I'm sure you all have some questions or something that I can help you out with. So if you do, please go ahead and put those questions into the chat box. While you do that, I'm going to take a look at my Piwik. Are you guys using Piwik out there? Who's using it? Put it in the chat box. If or not you're using Piwik. Whatever you're doing, you should definitely be tracking your statistics on your website. Because if you're not tracking your statistics, then you really don't know what your success rate is, you know, the things that you're doing on your blog. Google Analytics is fine, Grant. Whatever you want to use to do that, it's a really important thing to be able to see what's going on your website. Because then you know if things that you've been doing have helped you or not helped you. So I'll just give a second for this to load. I think Piwik's really good, Grant, because it gives you some data that Google Analytics doesn't give you, and it also gives you kind of unprejudiced data. Google, I feel, is prejudiced. I feel they're very heavily weighted towards filtering data that helps them rather than data that helps you. And Piwik is completely open source. It's purely giving you data that helps you. They're not trying to sell you anything. Well, here's my Piwik. I'm doing pretty good with this. It just does seem to keep going up a little bit more every time I do a new post. So maybe I'll just see if I could do another post right now, and just for the heck of it. Let's see what I can do. Let's see what kind of keywords I got going on. So I got all these audio mixing and mastering keywords already connected to this profile. So when I go to curate, should have all those keywords in here, and I certainly do. I go back to, I'm going to change this default keyword to, let me go to my blog and pick one that I haven't, pardon me. Patrick's asking me how's the beta test coming with the keyword software. It's, we're doing great with that. We're really moving forward. I'm going to be issuing that software to the membership very soon, and I have my software engineer working to make sure that it's going to go forward for us regardless of whether the keyword tool is taken away or not. Grant's asking me about whether he should stay away from Chrome or use another browser to stay under the radar and not feed the monster. Well, you know, that's up to you. It's certainly a good point. I don't have any indication that Chrome is really spilling my beans, so to speak, although the infrastructure is certainly there for them to transmit any data that they wanted to if it were some kind of a secret thing. But we have another program that allows us also to see what's going on. Maybe I should go ahead and give you guys a little tutorial about that right now. It's called Fiddler. I don't know if you've ever seen Fiddler. You can download this program. It's called Fiddler, and Fiddler shows you exactly what any browser is doing on your computer. It shows you what it's sending and what it's getting back, and that's an amazing thing, and I use it all the time. And I will answer the questions that are coming in, so that's great. Go ahead and keep sending your questions. In the meantime, I'm just going to show you what, now I've got Dailymotion hooked up on this Chrome browser here. So this is Dailymotion. And sometimes even when you're not clicking, the browser sends and receives data because of processes that run in scripts and stuff like that. So if we look over here, we see the URL that's being called. Now on the right-hand side, we see the request. This is the actual request that got sent over the internet. And then we can see the return down here. So you can see exactly what the browser sent to what server and exactly what the server sent back. We use this a lot for debugging, and anybody can use this. Okay, so if you ever get, you know, really interested or concerned about what your browsers are doing and what they're sending back and forth, you just load up Fiddler, pick any one of these URLs, and you can see what's going between your computer and other servers using your computer's HTTP system. And that's Fiddler. Really awesome thing to use. Now, I'm going to address a couple of questions. Joy has asked me, when you go to curate, how do you see more of the original content to get more of an idea what it's about? That's a great question, and we definitely have an answer for that. Okay, so let me just go ahead and make a post for Joy and show you how I do that. And I'm going to hit those other questions right as soon as I finish that. So I'm going to make a post to my mixing mastering site. But I want to go here and find out like which categories I need to get some content for. Some of them are empty still. So I'm going to try and target one that's empty so I can get some content in it. Let's see what we got. How about, let's see, mastering compressor. Do we have anything in there? Yeah, got something there. How about iZotope 5? Yeah, got something there. Logic plugins. Something there. Let's try VST instrument. That one's got something. Instruments. Just going to keep cruising through until I find a category that has no content. Well, I'm happy to say I've got quite a bit of content in here, so that's good. But I know there are some which are still lacking content, so I'm just going to keep cruising for a minute until I find maybe they're all full by now. I don't know. I think some of them are still empty. So let's see. Let's see. FL Studio free download. Try that. Okay, here we go. FL Studio free download has no content, so I'm going to go over here. I'm going to choose. Do I have that one? I may not actually have that program into the software yet. And that's kind of the cool thing about Keyworks is that it will automatically program these keywords in. So I'm going to go ahead and create this new keyword by copying and pasting it here and then save. I'm hoping it will. Okay, there it is. Now it's over here. Just by selecting it and then I'm going to save it. Now it's the default keyword for this profile, you see, FL Studio free download. So if I go to curate, you'll notice that in the category it's automatically selected FL Studio free download, and that's the category on my blog. Now I don't know that I actually have a Talkwalker alert for that, so I may have to that one may not be the best, because as I mentioned, the Keyworks will coordinate your keyword list and your Talkwalker alerts, so you would already have that. What I may do is just go to Google and try to find something about that online. check it out. So there's quite a number of results for that keyword. Probably not the best keyword either because it's about a free download, but could be a good outgoing authority link too. Let's take a look. Okay, that'll be good. So I'll use this. I'm going to get the URL, go back here. I'm going to go to curation sources, HTML URL. I'll go HTML URLs here. Click to add a new URL. I'm going to paste the URL in here. I'm going to get FL Studio. I'm going to get just the exact same keyword. Okay, so I'll just copy this keyword, and that will be the title. Now I'm going to get the whole text here and paste it here. So this is when the page does not come up in an RSS feed, and I just want to curate it directly from the page. So hopefully this will work. Add it, and then done. And it didn't have a title, but it seems to be there. So let's see if that works. Okay, well I got this part, but it didn't really work. If I go to source articles, is it going to load? Let's see. Okay. Well, I'm going to just go ahead and copy this. So I haven't used this very much, so obviously I'll go in here and work with it, but I'm going to go ahead and delete my markups. Let's find out more about FL Studio free download, and I'm going to get rid of everything extraneous. Look at the source real quick. Get my URL. And I realize this isn't terribly intelligent, but it's also that it's just for Google. You know, Google will find these words and be happy with them. So let's see if I can get a video about, you see when I click the video now it automatically says FL Studio free download. So I'm going to find a video that has the closest title to what it is to my keyword is. Let's try. Let's try this FL Studio New Style. So now I've got this video in here. I'm going to change this. Do you use FL Studio free download? What DAW is your favorite? DAW stands for Digital Audio Workstation. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and post this. It'll go to the FL Studio free download category. Okay, posted to blog. Let's take a look. That's not very good with that quote, but I have to go in there and edit that. Okay, so I've got a post here now. And it looks pretty decent. It does, it has this link here to the original article. And so people can link here if they're interested about FL Studio free download. And that will be something that gets searched, I'm pretty sure. Let's take a look at my PWIC. As a matter of fact, if you look at the keywords here, you're going to see FL Studio 10 violin plugin, FL Studio beat mastering, FL Studio mastering book. That stands for Fruity Loops, which is a music program. So I've already got a ton of traffic coming for this FL Studio, so this will just help to bolster that a bit. Okay. And it was posted in, where does it say? Not sure. That theme doesn't let's find FL Studio free download on my categories. And we'll look at the category page in there. So now we have content. So as I do in these sessions, I guess you guys know I'm always working on stuff. So when I come in here and I show you something, and if it doesn't work exactly the way I expected, I'll probably get, as soon as I get off this call, I'll go in and make sure that the code gets all fixed up to work exactly the way I want it, and then I'll issue a new build. So let's go on to some questions. Sharon's asking me, what browser do I use? Long time ago, Sharon, I kind of started out with a Microsoft Internet Explorer. Very loyal because I actually worked at Microsoft for a while, and a lot of stuff was really focused around that. But about 5 years ago, that really started changing, and it seems like Microsoft Internet Explorer, they really stopped advancing their code for some reason. So I started using Chrome a lot then. So I use Chrome, and now I use Firefox a lot. Firefox is a wonderful, wonderful browser because it is, I'm pretty sure it's an open source. If it's not open source, it's still good. I mean, I have to check out. I haven't researched it before giving you this answer, but Firefox is basically created for the community. Douglas says, yes, it's open source. Thanks, Douglas. So it's created for the community basically as an answer to all these big corporations that are trying to get a monopoly on the browser so that everybody gets controlled under that monopoly. So Firefox is the one that sort of gives the power back to the user, because not only does it not, insidiously track you and that sort of thing, but it has these amazing plugins, and I'm going to recommend one that's called Firebug up here. Firebug allows you to look directly at the code and really analyze. You've got the HTML, you've got the scripts here. You can see all the scripts. And you can see all the code, and you can even, if you've done anything with programming, then you understand what what it is to set a breakpoint in code. In other words, stop the code and then examine the variable. So you can do that. If there's any code that's going on in any browser and any web page, you can use Firefox and Firebug to see what that code is and in fact track the code and see what the values and the variables are and stuff. It's really, really wonderful. Yeah, SEO Quake is great, Judy. It's wonderful. Grant has asked me, will there be a gap in service for beta testers in the transition to full release of keywords? I don't think so, Grant. I think what we're going to do, as soon as I do the next service release to the beta testers and it works fairly well, then it's going to be released to all the members, and it will also become an integral part of the whole system. And it's you know, it's about ready. And I also, like I said, I have my software engineers already very enthusiastically integrating the keyword planner so that when they do turn off the keyword tool, we'll still have functionality. So that was really important to me. I didn't want to make any promises to anybody until I had that covered, and now I believe that we're covered with that. So I'm feeling more confident now about releasing the software to everyone, and it will be soon. Dennis asked me if Fiddler will help you to understand Norton 360 and Viper blocking some URL. It probably won't give you alerts, but when you run Fiddler and you try to access a URL that has an issue with a firewall or something like that, it will show you in the browser, because Fiddler itself puts up a little notice in the browser that says, you know, unable to contact proxy server or something like that. But you'll be able to examine the request on both sides and see what happened with it. Grant has a question here. He says, on one of the blogs I'm working on, I have created posts with the SEO titles I want for the blog structure, but I left them with only coming soon for the content until I can find the time to get some content written. Do those post titles help me or hurt me in the meantime? No, I don't think so. You've got the post titles set up with the correct SEO, right? So what you really should do, if you don't want to put any content in there, don't say coming soon. Instead of saying coming soon in the post content, just put your keyword, you know, this is a post about keyword, you know. That's what you should do, because that will not hurt you, and in fact it will help you. If it says coming soon, then it's pretty much, I would guess it's kind of a tip off to Google, you know, that it's not finished. But people are doing amazing things with SEO just with a few words, just with one keyword and a couple of other words. So don't even feel like it's not done, Grant. I mean, if you put up a post, then you see how minimal the post is that I just did with the Fruity Loops. Believe me, even with the mistakes in it and everything, that is going to get me traffic just because it uses a keyword, and and it will pull the traffic. Okay, you got it, Grant. My pleasure. Sharon uses Mac and Firefox. That's great. And Douglas has a great comment. He says, only porn sites try to rank for the keywords coming soon. No. Good one, Douglas. Okay, Gregory says, Hugh, I've had a few problems with Firefox firewall. Is this a general issue with Firefox? Gregory, I don't know much about that. I don't know much about Firefox firewall. It's not easy for me to say either. I don't know anything about that. I have to research that. I've actually never heard of that before, Gregory. I didn't know there was such a thing as a Firefox firewall. So if there is, I'll have to do some research on it for you. Okay, that's the last question that we have. If there aren't any more questions, we might go ahead and just close the session early today, and there's no reason to browbeat you guys with hours of me talking unless there's something specifically that you need to learn today. Grant has a question. Is there an easy way to export the Chrome bookmarks and import to Firefox? I'm pretty sure that there is, Grant. Let's take a look at that. I haven't ever, attempted to do it, but I'm going to say probably Bookmark Manager. This is where you go. Okay, so let's start again. Here's how it's done. You go in Chrome, Bookmarks, Bookmark Manager, Organize, Export Bookmarks to HTML file, and select where you want it to go and save it. Okay. Now it's done, and I have this HTML file on my desktop. Let's just look at that in Edit Plus for a minute and see what that's got in it. Very interesting. It is an HTML file, but it has a special data format. And each one has the href, the date you added it, and some kind of binary data attached to it. So, and once you have this file exported, then you go to Firefox. You're going to go to Bookmarks, Bookmarks toolbar. Would it be what? I'm not sure. I'm sure there's an import. Let's try. Never done this. So let's see. Show all bookmarks. Okay, so we got this bookmark thing open, and you've got a button here called Import and Backup. So you're going to go Import Bookmarks from HTML, go back to where you saved that file in the desktop, select that file, and then open it. I guess I might as well do it because I don't have many bookmarks in Firefox yet. So I might as well go ahead and get my Chrome bookmarks in there. Thanks for bringing me through this. So I'm going to go open. And where are they? Where did they go? Here, bookmarks bar. Yeah, that's it. Now they're in bookmarks bar, and I've got all my bookmarks from Chrome. Okay. Douglas, no, Chrome is not an extension of Netscape. What it is that when they created this bookmark file format, the doc type here says Netscape bookmark file -1. So if we took that doc type and we went and we searched that on Google, and we're going to learn a little bit about that. And it says Netscape bookmark file format. Okay? Netscape bookmark file format. The Windows Internet Explorer favorites file format is exactly the same as the Netscape bookmark file format, and here's the explanation of that file. A file format like that, Douglas, would have been designed in the early 1990s, and since it works great, there was no reason to change either the format or the name of the format, which was Netscape bookmark file 1. And that's the way these things work. And you've seen a lot of files, HTML files. You see here it says doc type HTML public W3C. That's the World Wide Web Consortium. That's the agency that makes decisions about how these documents are set up. Okay, so this is the W3C has created this DTD, which means God, I forgot, document type definition. That's what it is. Document type definition. Okay, so it defines the type. What it is HTML 401 transitional, which was also created in the 1990s. We're kind of slowly moving up to HTML5, which I believe was also designed in the 1990s. I'm not sure. They really take their time, you know, moving the standard because so many people use the internet that they can't just make things quickly. So let's look up, let's just go to that URL for the document type definition. When you put it in a browser, it's going to come up with some very technical specifications for how HTML works. And it's funny, I'm not even seeing it. It's not even coming up. I'm not sure why. Here it is. So you see here, it's loose document type definition, and this shows you the whole, basically this is the blueprint for an HTML file, and it includes all the different tags and what they do, all the different JavaScript handles and so on and so forth that you can program against, and it basically has the entire definition of the document type. That's exactly what it is. So they created this, look at this, 1999. They created it the day before Christmas in 1999 was when HTML4 loose DTD was invented. Okay, so before that time we were on maybe HTML3 even, which was, you know, the stuff of the 1990s, and then they moved up to HTML4. We're slowly moving to HTML5, and no one like makes decrees that you have to do this or you have to use this particular kind. So when the companies create new browser software, they do their best to implement the new document type definition so that it will respond, so the browser will respond correctly to the new type of code as it comes in. That is not a perfect science. In fact, there's been so many conflicts, you know, between Microsoft, Netscape, Chrome, Firefox, Safari, all those different browsers. They all implement slightly differently how they react to the document type definition, which is why things look a little different in each browser. But they tried, you know, really trying to standardize everything. So we kind of have, you know, they almost all look the same, but there's little differences in each one because of how they interpret the DTDs, right? Okay, so I hope that wasn't too verbose and boring for you, but that's, you know, the science behind this internet stuff. Douglas, it's my pleasure. I mean, this is the kind of stuff I kind of excel at explaining to people. So if you guys have any other questions, I'm more than happy to go through the science behind the internet, all this sort of thing. If it helps, I mean, it may or may not help you, but the more you understand about this stuff, the better you're going to excel at whatever you do using the stuff. Okay, so if there are any more questions, I'm more than happy to explain anything that anyone wants to know. Thanks, Scott says, always good to have that background, and Doug said the fewer the surprises, the better on our end. That's for sure. Dennis wants to know about Al Gore. Yeah, he invented the internets, didn't he, Dennis? I don't know, apparently he did. If you look it up, he had something to do with it, but I do know that the actual internet, what I understand, I'm going to have to, I could do some research. Hey, Gary, my pleasure. Explain that DDT stuff, man. Glad you enjoy it. But my understanding about the actual internet is that, you know, it was created as an emergency communications network during wartime. In fact, I think it was originally conceived even from World War II time period, but at that time it didn't have anything to do with computers, right? Because there weren't really computers then, but they had telephones. And the internet, yeah, Patrick says DARPA, which is, I believe, a military-based organization. And the whole idea was basically to have a telephone line that was open 24 hours a day, a telephone connection that could always be open. So they wouldn't have to pick up the telephone and dial a number and stuff. They would just continual telephone connections, sort of like the bat phone in Batman, right? Because all he had to do was pick it up and it was already connected. Yeah, Douglas says Al Gore probably wangled the funding. I'm sure it was something like that. Even his father, Douglas, because his father was also a congressman. So they've been involved in this for a long, long time. So the whole idea was to have a telephone line that was continually turned on, and as computers came into it, they started saying, hey, you know, I mean, when they learned to attach a modem to a computer, that was when they realized that they could use a telephone line for computers to talk to each other, and that was like a big surprise. So then they figured out, you know, you could send data on this telephone line between computers and have a network. So that was like, wow, that was a big, you know, revelation. So then they started, you know, realizing that this was a huge thing that they should build on. And I think it was in late 1980s that they actually started, you know, the real internet as it is now. And when it got to 1992, 94, then a lot more people were using it, but that was when the World Wide Web was invented, because the World Wide Web is just like somebody said, that's what people were doing in those days. They were dialing up and connecting to online bulletin board systems like CompuServe, AOL, what was that other one? Prodigy, right? And so you would dial up, and then you'd be on a computer, and that computer had one connection to this internet phone line. So then you could go out there. So then, right, and June's made a great point. Academics and scientists used it to exchange data, and that's really what it was. And they used very you know, cryptic systems like these, you know, more like a bulletin board system or a Usenet. I don't know if you all are familiar with Usenet, what they used to call news groups, that they still exist, but they're not as big as they used to be. And then at some point, some very smart person, I have to go research it to know the exact person, but somebody realized that if they created a new protocol on this open phone line, that they could actually start showing pictures and hyperlinks. A hypertext was invented. It was like, let's put a tag around this text so that when somebody clicks it, it sends a request to another server and then gets more data. That's how the World Wide Web was invented. Yes, Scott, Mindspring and Earthlink, but I think Mindspring and Earthlink were some of the first, you know, real internet ISPs, the ones that you could dial up to and actually go directly onto the internet rather than dialing up to a bulletin board system like America Online, which then gave you sort of a watered down connection to the internet. And Patrick's done my research for me, and he's got the acronym for DARPA is Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency, which is the agency that was responsible for implementing the internet as we know it today. Okay, so great. I absolutely love sharing this kind of information with people. I hope it's helpful to you. Rather than just focusing on the software all the time, more or less theoretical stuff. You know, a lot of people get involved in the internet just to make money, but they don't always really know the science behind it, the background. It's like people that want to start trading stocks and they don't know anything about the stock market, you know, so if you find a way to make money, that's great, but it'll definitely help you to have the information to work with as you go through your online career. All right, Grant. It says we really enjoyed it, Professor Hitchcock, so I appreciate that, Grant. Thank you so much. And yes, Patrick, the internet is the greatest thing since sliced bread. Gary, I don't know about Sir Tim Berners-Lee, but I will have to look that up, and we'll see. I love to learn new things every day, so I'll definitely look that up. And now it's 3 o'clock, so that means we've been here for an hour. I think that might be enough for today, unless there are other questions. I'm more than happy to answer more questions if you guys have them. If not, I'll probably just we'll call it a day for today, and I'll go work on some more code and continue to upgrade the software for you guys. Hey, Douglas, it's my pleasure. I really enjoyed this. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Joy, my pleasure. Gregory, great to have you here. Scott, awesome. Thanks for coming. And I guess I'll say good day, guys. Take it with you. Have a great one. Success to everyone, and we'll see you soon. Hit me on the Facebook group if you need me. Okay? Thanks, guys. Bye-bye for now. Talk soon.
The organizer.